This is the plaintiff, Marjani Lawrence. She says she's been a mail carrier for the past 9 years. And wouldn't you know it, the defendant's dog chased her down in the street and bit her right in the leg. Ouch! The force of the dog's jaw hurt her very badly. The defendant refuses to take any responsibility, and she has every right to sue for the $2,101.68 she's owed. This is the defendant, Antonia Robinson. She says her poor dog is over 10 years old, has no teeth, wasn't barking or running after anyone, and is being unfairly blamed for something he simply did not do. The plaintiff refuses to show anyone any damage done to her leg or medical bills, and there's no way she's going to pay for something her dog is innocent of. She's accused of having a dog that went postal.
Okay, Marjani Lawrence?
Yes.
You are suing Antonia Robinson for $2,101.60 that you say you are out as a result of her negligence in allowing her dog to roam without a leash and bite you. Tell me about it.
Correct. On May 8th, 2009, I was performing my duties as a letter carrier, and Antonia lives on a dead end, and she's the first house on the even side when you come back out of the dead end. And as I was approaching, something bit me from behind with no warning.
Okay, where?
On my upper left thigh.
Upper left thigh behind?
Yes.
Okay.
And so I had no chance to use my bag as a defense or my mace, and I screamed hysterically. And I turned around and I saw the dog running away, and I was shaking uncontrollably. And then I telephoned the police, my supervisor, and a coworker who worked on the route right next door to mine.
Did you know this dog?
No.
Okay,
I've seen it before, but I'm not the type of carrier that approaches dogs.
Okay, and had you seen it loose before?
No.
All right, do you know what happened?
Actually, I was sitting on the porch with the dog, and I usually have the leash on him, and I wrap it around like one of the bars on the porch. So the dog is very obedient, sitting next to me while I was reading.
With no leash?
Well, no, I thought I leashed it, but
You apparently didn't?
apparently I didn't.
Okay.
So the phone rang. I ran inside without thinking to bring the dog with me because I just jumped up to answer the phone, and in like a second I hear screaming.
Yeah, that's all it takes. Has this dog ever bitten anybody before?
Never.
What kind of dog is this?
It's actually a lab type of mix, and it does have a little of some pit in it.
Of what? What? Go ahead. You can say it. We all know.
I don't know. I don't really know
Go
what it
ahead
has.
and
It's
say
a
it.
mutt. That's all I know.
What were
It's
you
a
going to
mutt.
say that you edited yourself from saying? Go ahead. What were you going to say?
It's a Labrador mix, and I'm
Mixed
not
with
sure.
what? What were you going to say?
It's mixed with probably pit and lab.
Oh, pit bull.
Yeah.
Why were you trying not to say that?
I don't know, because everybody's so afraid of those type of dogs, but this dog
Can't
is
imagine
very,
why.
very friendly. I haven't.
Now, you hear a commotion outside. That's how you know something's happened?
Yes.
And what do?
I ran outside, and when I came outside, I only saw my dog, and I called him to come inside. And
Where did you call him from?
He was in the yard.
In your yard?
Yeah, like my mailbox.
Was he
all the way-
barking or anything?
Nothing.
Did you see Miss Lawrence, your mail person?
Screaming
And what,
throwing
she was
the mail.
Where, on the
In the
sidewalk
street.
or in the? Okay.
And that's when I was like, oh my God, what happened? So my neighbor next door that has 4 children, she drove up, and she said, what's going on? And the cops then came, and her bosses came.
So then you heard what happened.
And then, yeah, I was like, what happened? And I tried to ask her. She said, get away from me. Get away from me. Your dog bit me. Get away from me. So.
Did she ever show you what her injury was?
No, she wouldn't show anyone.
Okay.
She wouldn't show the cops. She wouldn't show her boss. She wouldn't show me. She wouldn't show anyone. And there was no torn pants
why
or
wouldn't you
anything.
show anybody?
I wasn't pulling my pants down
Okay.
for the cop in the street,
Okay.
Your Honor.
All right.
It was on my upper thigh.
Is
and I
that
have
because
a
of the
photo-
location?
I have a photo.
Let me see the photo.
I have a photo of how it wound up, and there's the puncture wound.
Let me see that. Okay, I see a bruise here, definitely.
She said
I don't
broke the
see, just a
skin.
second. I don't see, like, you know, a hemorrhage. I don't see
No.
stitches. I don't see.
No, exactly. That's why
you know,
I
I see a tiny little break in the skin that apparently they did not stitch up or anything. It didn't require anything like that.
Correct.
So what was required? Tell me what your injuries are that would warrant $2,000.
Well, it was mentally. I'm not crazy, but you can imagine after that. I didn't go to her house for about 3 weeks. I would just hand the mail to the supervisor. I don't know how it was getting there. I don't know if he was delivering it or the truck driver was delivering it. And when I would go on her street, I was very apprehensive. I was just really, really shaken after that. And I would go into crying spells. And like she testified, I am very close with a lot of people in that neighborhood and still do keep in contact with them. And I took it really personally, like she just didn't care about me at all. She was so negligent.
According to you, she tried to come up to you and talk to you. You said, get away from me, your dog.
I was furious, Your Honor, that she would be so negligent. At that time, there was nothing.
The dog. You thought it was personal that she left the dog outside as opposed to negligent that she left the dog outside.
I thought it was crazy.
Okay.
I thought it was crazy.
I agree. It's crazy. You shouldn't leave your dog unleashed. I agree with you 100%. You know, stuff happens in life, you know?
And you know, I just felt blessed. Like she said, the lady next door has 4 children, and she homeschools them. They could have been outside. It could have been them instead of me.
Yeah, the lady next door wrote a letter talking about how great the dog was.
Yeah, okay.
All right, now, let me ask you a question. Do you have pictures of your dog?
I do.
Can I see your dog? Let's see how scary looking that dog looks.
And I have doctor statements to state what was going on.
Show me now. Did you end up going to the emergency room or to see a doctor?
No, I went to see my doctor.
Okay, and when was that?
And I have the police report also.
Okay,
I saw my doctor the very next morning.
Okay, and let's see that. Now, what is this a picture of?
That's where you opened her mouth to show you her teeth, that they were missing. She has none.
Oh, she has teeth.
Yeah, but they don't close together. If you look, there's spaces.
She has bad teeth, but I mean, you know, in your answer to the complaint, you said she's toothless. She's not toothless.
No disrespect, but
yeah.
If a dog is attacking you, I don't think he'd be running away from you.
No, that's not true. Where do you get that? You guys just make that. You just made that up. No, a dog could bite you, and then when you turn around and scream, the dog could all of a sudden be afraid.
Bark or anything, though. I don't understand how it's.
I mean, most pit bulls don't do that. Most pit bulls latch and they don't let go. But this isn't. Maybe this dog does not have that much pit in it. I don't know, but. You know, but that doesn't just because, I mean, what are you suggesting? She went to the doctor. The doctor says that there was a wound.
I'm suggesting she's lying.
Right, and did what? Did it to herself?
I think the dog scared her when she saw it on the porch.
Here's a problem, though. You lose the right to say what happened when you weren't watching your unleashed dog.
Okay.
All right, now, I see that there's a $300 doctor bill. Did you pay that $300 doctor bill?
The receipt is there, too.
Okay.
The receipt of
and
payment.
I see that you're suing for $1,000 for pain and suffering. We'll talk about that in a second. I see the $10 prescription, and then I see missed work. Tell me about that.
I just couldn't go to work. I couldn't do it. And it didn't last long. I'm not trying to exaggerate anything. It was only a week. But I just needed to...
Did you go a week off from work?
I needed to sit home and just sit home.
But did you lose funds when
yes.
you... Why?
Yes. Because I didn't follow through with workman's comp through fault of my own. I just procrastinated, no other reason. So they used sick days instead of workman's comp.
Okay, but why didn't you follow through with workers' comp?
I just procrastinated. And that's
so you
why
wouldn't
I'm
be
here.
out that money if you had gone through workers' comp?
The Postal Service would be going after her to get their money back. Right. So either way,
and how do you come up with $791.68?
I have my pay stub.
Right.
And the doctor's note says how many days I missed. Here's my pay stub. See.
According to you, you say that she has issues with other people in the neighborhood, correct? And where do you get that from?
Are pit bulls more inherently dangerous than other dogs? What do you think?
Well, it depends on the state that you're in. You know, there's a one-bite rule depending upon what state you're in.
No, but I'm not talking about the law. I'm talking about the dog. Are these dogs more dangerous?
No.
Why?
Because any dog can be dangerous if you treat it poorly.
What if the dog is mixed with lab? Does that soften the dog?
Yes, it does. Labs are calm. No, but I really do think that it just reflects the owner's training. If it trains to be vicious, then it's going to be vicious.
Okay, but you know, there are people who think that there is an enzyme in these dogs, but we will find out. Going inside the courtroom.
I talked to a gentleman a street over from my church that had a dog, and he said that she had complained about his dog a few times, and some of the people at my church said to me that they heard that she might be suing a few other people in the neighborhood.
And this is all just, again, just smack because you don't have any proof of anything that you're saying, right?
Yeah, I just went over to talk to the gentleman, and he said, you know, I got a letter of complaint from the post office, but he said I think
Because
she's
he
a
left
little...
his Rottweiler out.
Okay. Well, listen, I got to tell you something. I have... You know, you're talking to the wrong person. As far as I am concerned, people think that their dogs are not animals, and that's because people are stupid. The dogs are animals. It's not the animal's fault. It's the people's fault. Okay? You need to restrain your animal so that everybody else doesn't have to feel, you know, terrified. I have 3 children. One of them was, mercifully it's over with now, terrified of dogs for years because she witnessed my cat being eaten alive by the dog next door that kept getting loose. Okay, right in front of her very eyes, like an Animal Kingdom episode. I don't need that in my life. The rest of humanity doesn't need that. We don't want your beloved pet. You think that everybody loves your pet? They don't. Okay, handle your darn dog. And having said that, this is not a payday. Okay? You know, yes, you got injured, all right? But I'm reading here in your doctor's reports how you're complaining to them about how you cry all the time. You can't sleep at night. I mean, come on. You know, it's a bite. I don't want to hear another word. I'm done with both of you. I understand. It's a bite, and it's now going to cost you. And I'm going to be the judge and the last word on what it's going to cost you. So now what is it? It is $300 that she had to pay for a doctor. You're paying for it. $10 she had to pay for a prescription. You're paying for it. I believe that she's entitled to take a day off from work because she's upset about it, and you're paying for it. And I think that pretty much wraps it up. $507.92. Verdict for the plaintiff.
See what the defendant has to say coming out here after losing this case. Step on in here. She didn't get every penny she sued for, but she sure won that case against you.
Well, it was an incident. I don't really think my dog bit her, but what's fair, the judge is fair.
Well, what do you think happened?
I think she was startled by the dog, and I think she...
And that bruise just developed because of...
Get a bruise from a dog.
I don't think she got a bruise. I don't think she's... I think that bruise came later. I really don't believe the dog did it, but...
She might have, like, pinched herself or punched herself in the thigh.
Yeah, had somebody pinch her.
All right. All right. All right.
Thank you.
Head right down there. All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so here comes the male lady. Step on in here. You satisfied with what you came out with? Step up a little bit right in here. Come on. Come on. Don't be shy.
I wish the judge had given me a little more because I really was stressed. You can't imagine being bitten by a pit bull and I couldn't get my defenses up because it was from behind. And she's a nut job.
That's what she says about you.
I punched myself. She's a nut job.
Uh-huh. You're still delivering, right? The mail?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, proudly.
Right,
hello to everyone in the Bloomfield post office.
That's it?
Yes.
Harvey?
Okay, I can't believe it, but this guy's absolutely right. That in many states there's still a law that says that there is the one free bite rule, which basically means that a dog gets one free bite, but after that the owner knows he's vicious. There are many other states that say it doesn't matter. The first time a dog bites, the owner is on the hook. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.